How's it going, everybody? David Hedge here, House Hedge Gaming, and today I am looking at a game that drops you in the middle of a jungle full of wondrous animals, dangerous pitfalls, traps, and even man-eating plants, and you may even encounter a shaman. Let's take a look at Amazing Jungle Run by BuddyPal Games. Now, in Amazing Jungle Run, you and your friends will be going through the jungle and trying to accumulate points depending on the number of players you have. So for this example, we're going to set up for a 2-player game, which means you need 9 points to win. Now, setup for the game is very simple. You will take your resource cards, shuffle them up. You will take peril cards, shuffle them up. And if you're playing a 2-player game, you want to watch out for these cards. Take these cards out of the deck before you begin shuffling, because these are for 3 players and up in the game. Next, you have your jungle area that you'll be going through, and you have a mystic shaman, and you have mangoes. Now, these are worth 2 points and 3 points respectively, and these are higher end point cards in the game. So what you will do is you will take these, shuffle them up, and you will divide them out into these 4 sections, creating 4 decks. Once you do that, you will take 4 cards, or deal out cards until you get 4 in each stack. Once you do that, you will shuffle those and deal 4 more on top of each stack until you get 8 cards per stack, creating the jungle you'll be going through. Once you're finished dealing out the cards, you'll flip over the top card of each deck, and then you're ready to begin the game. Now, let me show you how to acquire this big guy, this big king, this papaya, and all the other cards in the game. Now, in Amazing Jungle Run, you have 3 parts to a turn. First off, you have the action phase. Now, the action phase, you get 2 points that you can spend. Now, this can be used to either get resource cards that'll help you along the way, either to give you extra die faces or change a die, or to help collect cards in the jungle. You also can peek at the bottom card of one of the jungle decks. That way you can tell if the Mystic Shaman is awaiting you at the end of the trail. Or for 2 action points, you can get a peril card. Now, these can actually hinder your opponents throughout the game, whether it be trapping them in quicksand for a turn to where they have to go after one specific card, or you can make 1 card off limits because there's some dangerous predators awaiting them if they try to go near that card. After the action phase, you then go on to the main phase. Now, for the main phase, you can either collect common cards, like your hippos here, tigers, or toucans, or you can roll for specific cards. Now, let's go over the common cards first. Now, with these, all you have to do is say which one you're going for. So, for example, for me, I'm going to go for the hippos. So I'm going to take these hippos and put them in front of me. Then you take the top card of the decks that were just emptied, and those the opponents can go for next. Now, each one of these common cards can also have bonuses. So for example, drafting this toucan will get you a resource. When drafting this toucan will get you the next card in the jungle deck to get you a little bit closer to the bottom card. Now, the other thing you can do is to roll for these. Let me show you how to do that. Alright, so when you roll for a card, like for example the king, which is a very powerful one, and also this papaya, it gets you a point. You get to roll these dice. Now, they each have 2 triangles, 2 diamonds, and 2 circles. So you'll get 2 rolls. First off, you'll roll, and then depending on what you roll, you can choose which one you're going to go for. So you don't automatically go, I'm going to go for king. You roll and then you go, well, I didn't get any of that, I'm in trouble. But after your first roll, you get to lock on to which card you want to get. Now, for example, and this will never happen to me again, I had enough to get the papaya, so I would use those 2 dice, take the papaya card, put it in front of me, and that would score me 1 point. And then, when you do that, flip over the next card in the jungle deck, and I just set up for one of the biggest turns my opponent could do. This is what it usually looks like in these games for me. Now, the third thing you can do during your turn is play defense. Now, you can do this during any time during your turn. So, for example, playing defense, you can play a card called Hideaway. Bury the top card of the deck, put on the bottom, and then you'll have the next card coming up. So this will get you a bit closer to the bigger point cards. Or you can be a bottom feeder and be able to play for the bottom card of the deck. Now remember, if you paid 1 action point to look at the bottom, you may know what you're going after, so this can definitely help you out. You can play a peacock to look at the top card of either the resource deck or the peril deck. That way you can choose what the best course of action is for your action points. You can change the die face. You can play quicksand to make your opponent go after specific cards. So if I don't want my opponents to go after these toucans, I can make them go after the king. I can play off limits to where if I don't want my opponent to have the king, I'll just make it off limits, but he'll get all the toucans and then I'll be a sad person. But you know what? Sacrifices have to be made to go after the king of the jungle. You can also play a man-eating plant against your opponent, which makes them lose an action point on their turn, and it's ongoing. So until they can find something to get rid of this thing, like for example, a bunch of hungry hippos, they're going to have to deal with this for a long time. Now, each player will be going through and playing defense, using their action points, collecting cards from here until they have the prerequisite number of points to win the game. And that is how you play Amazing Jungle Run by BuddyPal Games. Well, there you have it. That is Amazing Jungle Run from BuddyPal Games. Now, this game is a great way to start off a game night. It is simple and easy, both in instructions and setup. And plus, I like the artwork on it. You get to see tigers, and you get to see toucans, and even man-eating plants. But I also love it that you can have multiple things to do on your turn, whether it be collecting resources to help you along the way, being able to collect animal sets, and you're able to set pitfalls and traps for your opponents to make sure you can guard a card that you want for your next turn. And on a side note for this game, and just the company in general for BuddyPal Games, I was able to meet Keith Smith, who is one of the people that is responsible for this game, but also for BuddyPal Games itself. I ran into them last year at GenCon on a whim, just going through the exhibit hall one last time, and he bumped into me and he was like, "Hey, I want you to do some stuff for us." And I'm like, "Cool, I'd be more than happy to." And I was able to do the Power Advance game to show that off and basically have that video on their Kickstarter page, and it got fully funded and it's getting ready to ship out. And to me, that's one of the coolest things I've done on this channel, is to be a part of somebody's journey to bring a game from playtest to prototype to finished product. And I want to thank all of you for watching these videos and all, for giving me this opportunity to work with somebody like Keith Smith and BuddyPal Games. And it's actually opened more doors along the way to be able to work with other companies and be able to show off games that I never would have imagined I would have been able to do. But a lot of it is because of all of you, and I thank you for that. But Amazing Jungle Run was a game given to me at around the same time I got the Power Advance prototype that I have. And I just haven't had the chance to really sit down and play it, and I finally did. It has a solo version as well. It has it's good for multiplayer, but the solo version, you're able to do it on your own. Just a few minor tweaks in the rules for solo, but you know what? No matter which way you play it, this game, I really do enjoy it, and hopefully you can check it out as well. But thank you all so much for checking out this video. If you like it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let everyone know that House Hedge Gaming is here for all of your gaming needs as the countdown to GenCon 2024 continues. So until next time, everyone, stay safe and take care, my friends.